Nobody is ignoring you because they hate you. They are ignoring you because your signal is too weak. That truth is brutal because it removes your favorite protection. It removes the belief that the world has personally rejected you. It removes the belief that people are deliberately keeping you outside. It removes the belief that your talent is being suppressed by some invisible enemy. Rejection means they saw you and said no. Invisibility means they never found a reason to look. And if you are honest, that is not always oppression. Many times, it is bad strategy. You are not being suppressed. You are being missed. You are not being hated. You are being overlooked. You are not being blocked. You are simply not sending a clear enough signal for the market to stop, look, understand, and care. That distinction matters. Because if you believe you are oppressed, you become resentful. You begin asking why they will not see you. You begin asking why nobody supports you. You begin asking why the world refuses to recognize your value. But if you understand that you are invisible, you become strategic. You ask a better question. What signal must I build so they cannot miss me? That is the difference between a man who complains and a man who rises. Machiavelli understood something modern men avoid. Power lives in perception. It is not enough to be capable. You must be perceived as capable. It is not enough to be intelligent. Your intelligence must create visible outcomes. It is not enough to be serious. Your seriousness must leave evidence. It is not enough to have value. Your value must become legible to the people who can reward it. A man can be talented in private and irrelevant in public. A man can work hard in silence and remain poor. A man can have ambition, discipline, desire, and standards, but if none of it becomes visible proof, the world has no reason to respond. This is not injustice. This is mechanics. The world is not a mind reader. The market does not inspect your soul. Clients do not know your sacrifice. Powerful people do not sense your hidden potential from across the room. They respond to signals, clear signals, repeated signals, signals attached to value, signals attached to proof, signals attached to a problem they already care about. If your signal is weak, scattered, vague, or hidden, you will be ignored. Not because you are worthless, because you are unclear. And unclear men do not get chosen. This is the law. Visibility must be engineered, not begged for, not hoped for, not randomly attempted when you feel motivated. Engineered. Visibility is not noise. Visibility is not posting your thoughts into the void. Visibility is not trying to be liked by everyone. Visibility is not becoming loud, desperate, or theatrical. Visibility is the disciplined construction of a signal that the right people can recognize, trust, and remember. And that signal has 5 parts: clear skill, clear audience, clear proof, clear platform, clear repetition. Pay close attention to the third one, because proof is where invisibility actually dies. Most men fail because they violate all 5. They do not have a clear skill. They do not know who they are speaking to. They have no proof. They jump across platforms. They disappear after 3 posts. Then they call themselves invisible. No, they are not invisible. They are incoherent. There is a difference. An invisible man may have value that has not been distributed. An incoherent man has no recognizable pattern. And the market does not reward confusion. Let us begin with the first part of the signal system. Clear skill. If people cannot understand what you do, they cannot value what you do. This sounds simple, but most men fail here immediately. They say, "I do content." What does that mean? They say, "I help businesses grow." How? They say, "I am creative." So is every unemployed dreamer on the internet. They say, "I am into marketing." Meaningless. Vague language is the uniform of the unchosen. When your skill is vague, people cannot place you in their mind. They cannot refer you. They cannot trust you. They cannot know when to call you. They cannot connect your name to a problem. And if your name is not connected to a problem, your name has no commercial weight. Watch the difference. Weak signal, I do content. Strong signal, I edit long-form YouTube videos so creators keep more viewers after the first minute. Weak signal, I help businesses grow. Strong signal, I rewrite landing pages so visitors understand the offer faster and book more calls. Weak signal, I am good with words. Strong signal, I write email sequences that turn cold, leads into booked calls. One sentence is fog. The other is a weapon. Now the market can understand you. Now the mind has a hook. Now people can categorize you. And this matters because people remember categories before they remember names. They remember the retention guy, the email guy, the landing page guy, the automation guy, the offer guy, the YouTube strategy guy. Do not be offended by this. Use it. A man who refuses to be categorized often remains unfound. He wants to be complex before he becomes useful. He wants people to understand his depth before he has earned their attention. But complexity is a luxury earned after trust. At the beginning, clarity beats depth. You can expand later. First, become known for one sharp thing. That is how a signal begins. The second part is clear audience. This is where many men destroy themselves because they are afraid of losing options. They want to speak to everyone. They want to serve everyone. They want to keep every door open. But when you speak to everyone, nobody feels addressed. A weak man says, I can help anyone. A strategic man says, I help this specific type of person solve this specific problem. Specificity creates force, because buyers do not wake up as anyone. They wake up as a creator whose retention is dying, a founder whose landing page gets traffic but no calls, a coach whose emails are not booking conversations, a freelancer whose offer sounds vague, a consultant whose content gets attention but no clients, a man with no network who knows he has value, but nobody important knows he exists. When you name the audience, you make the person feel seen. And feeling seen is the beginning of attention. Attention is not captured by generic messages. Attention is captured by relevance. If I say, here is how to improve your business, most people scroll. If I say, here is why education creators lose viewers in the first 30 seconds, a specific person stops. If I say, here is why your landing page gets traffic but no calls, a founder with that pain listens. If I say, here is why your cold emails sound needy, a freelancer with no replies pays attention. The more precise the audience, the stronger the signal. This does not mean you can never serve others. It means your public signal must have a target. A spear does not become stronger by pointing everywhere. And this is where many men lie to themselves. They call themselves adaptable when they are really afraid. They say they can help anyone because they do not have the courage to choose a battlefield. They hide behind range because range feels safer than commitment. But power does not begin with range. Power begins with position. You cannot dominate a market you refuse to define. You cannot become known in a category you refuse to name. You cannot build reputation around a result if you keep changing the result you want to be known for. Choose the person, choose the pain, choose the promise, then repeat it until the market understands where to place you. Before we go deeper, understand this clearly. If you are a man building from zero support, with no powerful family, no useful network, no one opening doors for you, you cannot afford random effort. You need a system. Inside my Patreon collection, Succeed with Zero Support, I have more than 30 uncensored video lessons built for that exact path. The roadmap is for men who have to build success without applause, without connections, and without anyone coming to rescue them. The link to the collection is in the description and in the pinned comment. Now we move to the third signal. Clear proof. This is where invisibility ends, not through claims, through evidence. Most men try to become visible by talking about themselves. I am disciplined, I am passionate, I am a hard worker, I am serious about success, nobody cares. These are self-descriptions, not proof. Proof is external, proof is visible. Proof shows that your skill can create movement in reality. Before and after. Case studies. Teardowns. Numbers. Process breakdowns. Testimonials. Screenshots. Built assets. Public analysis. Proof is the difference between asking to be believed and making belief easier. Most men want trust before proof. That is backward. Proof creates trust. Trust creates opportunity. Opportunity creates money. If you reverse that order, you will beg. And begging destroys perception. If you have no clients, create proof anyway. This is where the unsupported man must become ruthless. You do not need permission to prove judgment. You can analyze a weak video. You can improve a bad hook. You can rewrite a sales page. You can redesign a landing page. You can break down a successful campaign. You can document how you would fix a problem. You can show your process. You can show your standards. A man who waits for clients before building proof has misunderstood the game. He thinks the market should trust his potential. The market does not care about potential, it cannot verify. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." That sentence is not comfortable, but it is useful. Most people will never experience your inner world. They will not see your late nights. They will not see your hunger. They will not see your private discipline. They will not feel your frustration. They will not investigate your hidden greatness. They will scan for signs. If the signs are weak, they move on. So your job is not to complain that they moved on. Your job is to make the signs impossible to miss. Clear proof does three things. It shows what you can do. It shows how you think. It shows why you are less risky than another unknown man. And understand this. The unknown man is always considered risky. Not because people dislike him, because they have no evidence. Proof reduces that risk. And when you reduce risk, you become easier to choose. Imagine two video editors. The first editor says, "I edit videos." He posts random clips. He waits for referrals. He complains that nobody respects skill. He believes the market is unfair because people with less talent get more work. The second editor does something different. Every Monday, he tears down the first 60 seconds of a creator's video. Every Thursday, he rewrites a weak intro and explains why viewers leave. He shows pacing mistakes. He explains retention drops. He shows before and after structures. He repeats this for 90 days. At first, nobody cares. Then people begin to notice the topic. Then they notice his angle. Then they remember his name. Then his name begins to mean one thing. This man understands why viewers leave. Same skill category. Different signal. Different outcome. The first man wanted to be discovered. The second man made himself discoverable. And that is the brutal difference. The fourth signal is clear platform. Your signal must live somewhere. Not everywhere. Somewhere. This is another place where men sabotage themselves. They scatter their effort across every surface they can find. One post on LinkedIn, 2 posts on X, a random video on YouTube, a few comments on Instagram. a half-built website, then silence, then frustration, then the familiar excuse. Nothing is working. No, you never gave anything enough concentration to work. You mistook activity for distribution. You mistook motion for strategy. You mistook being present everywhere for being remembered somewhere. Distribution requires concentration. One platform first, one battlefield, one place where the right audience already gathers. If your buyers are founders, LinkedIn or X may matter. If your buyers are creators, YouTube or X may matter. If your buyers are technical, GitHub, technical blogs or niche communities may matter. If your buyers are visual, Instagram or YouTube may matter. The platform is not chosen by your mood. It is chosen by where your market pays attention. This is strategy. You do not build visibility where you feel comfortable. You build visibility where attention can become opportunity. Many men hide on platforms where there is no buyer because it feels safer. They post where friends will like them. They post where strangers cannot judge them. They post where the stakes are low. They post where failure feels private. Then they wonder why nothing converts. Comfort platforms create comfort outcomes. Strategic platforms create market feedback. If your audience is not there, your effort is not noble. It is misplaced. A fisherman does not become more disciplined by casting his net into an empty street. He may work hard. He may sweat. He may believe in himself. But the fish are not there. That is what many men are doing with content. They are working in places where attention cannot become leverage. Pick one platform and turn it into your proof engine. Your content should not be random. It should rotate through 3 formats: case studies, teardowns, playbooks. A case study says, here is a problem, what was done, and what changed. A teardown says, here is what is broken and how I would fix it. A playbook says, here is the repeatable method. These 3 formats make your mind visible. They show diagnosis. They show competence. They show structure. They show value. They show that you are not merely posting thoughts, you are producing signal. And signal is not expression. Signal is evidence arranged for perception. This is where most men expose their amateurism. They post what they feel. They post when they are inspired. They post vague lessons, emotional reflections, random opinions, and motivational fragments. Then they wonder why the market does not associate them with a result. Because you are not training perception. You are only releasing emotion. A strategist does not ask, what do I feel like posting today? He asks, what must the market repeatedly see in order to associate my name with this result? That question changes everything. Because now content is no longer a diary. It becomes positioning. It becomes proof. It becomes reputation construction. You are not posting to express yourself. You are posting to condition perception. The 5th signal is clear repetition. This is where most men die. They understand the strategy. They get excited. They feel a surge of control. They post for a week, maybe 2. Then silence comes. No likes, no comments, no clients, no applause. And their ego begins whispering, this is not working. But it is not that the strategy failed. It is that their signal has not compounded yet. You cannot train the market to remember you with 3 posts. You cannot become associated with a problem in 1 week. You cannot build trust with strangers by appearing once and vanishing. Repetition is what turns visibility into reputation. A single post is an event. A repeated signal is an identity. The first post is ignored. The 5th makes them recognize your problem. The 10th makes them remember your angle. The 30th makes them trust your judgment. That is why amateurs quit, before the market has enough evidence to choose them. They expect immediate validation from a market that has no reason to trust them yet. They interpret silence as rejection. But silence is often just insufficient signal. The market has not rejected you. It has not noticed you long enough to care. That should not depress you. It should instruct you, increase clarity, increase proof, increase repetition. Most men quit before the market has enough data. Do not become one of them. You need a 90-day signal protocol. For 90 days, choose one skill, one audience, one platform, and publish proof consistently. Not emotional posts, not vague motivation, not random opinions. Proof, twice a week at minimum. 3 times if you can. Each post should strengthen your association with a specific result. If your skill is YouTube retention, every post should make people think, this man understands why viewers leave. If your skill is landing pages, every post should make people think, this man understands why visitors do not convert. If your skill is email copy, every post should make people think, this man understands why buyers do not respond. If your skill is automation, every post should make people think, this man understands where time is being wasted. If your skill is offer strategy, every post should make people think, this man understands why people are not buying. That is the discipline. One skill, one audience, one platform. Proof repeated until perception changes. Amateurs create content to be seen. Strategists create content to be remembered for a specific value. Now let us talk about the emotional part, because invisibility does not only attack your career, it attacks your identity. When nobody sees you, you begin to wonder if you exist. When nobody responds, you begin to question your worth. When nobody chooses you, you begin to feel inferior. And if you are not careful, that pain becomes bitterness. You start telling yourself people only support those who already have status. You start believing the game is closed. You start interpreting every ignored message as disrespect. You start thinking the world is against you. But listen carefully. The world cannot be against a signal it cannot recognize. Most people are not rejecting you. They are busy, they are distracted, they are drowning in noise, they are protecting their attention, they are scanning for relevance. If you do not make relevance obvious, they move on. That is not hatred. That is attention economics. So stop taking invisibility personally. Take it operationally. Your signal is weak. Good. Now you know what to fix. Make the skill clearer. Make the audience sharper. Make the proof stronger. Make the platform more strategic. Make the repetition more consistent. This is a better conclusion than resentment because it gives you control. Oppression makes you feel trapped. Ignored signal gives you a job. And a man with a job can move. Now imagine 2 men. The first man is talented but invisible. He has ideas. He has ambition. He believes he could help people. But he does not publish proof. He does not define his audience. He does not show his process. He does not make an offer. He waits. And because he waits, nothing changes. The second man may not be more talented, but he chooses one skill. He chooses one audience. He starts posting teardowns. He publishes before and afters. He explains his process. He makes his offer clear. He repeats for 90 days. At first, nothing happens. Then a few people notice. Then one prospect saves his post. Then someone asks a question. Then someone shares his breakdown. Then someone messages him. Then someone pays him. Now the first man says, he got lucky. No, he got visible. Luck often visits the man whose signal is already moving. That is why the invisible man resents what he should be studying. He calls it luck because he does not want to admit the other man built a stronger signal. This is not about becoming famous. Fame is not the goal. Recognition by the right people is the goal. You do not need millions to know your name. You need the right 100 people to understand your value. Better yet, the right 10. 1,000 random followers can be useless. 10 serious buyers can change your life. So stop chasing popularity. Engineer legibility. Make it obvious who you help. Make it obvious what problem you solve. Make it obvious how your mind works. Make it obvious that you have evidence. Make it obvious how someone can work with you. Visibility is not vanity when it serves proof. Visibility is vanity when it seeks applause without value. There is a difference. A clown wants attention. A strategist wants recognition from the right people. Do not become a clown. Become a signal. A clear, repeated, valuable signal. That is how invisible men become undeniable. Not by shouting louder than everyone, by becoming sharper than everyone around one valuable problem. And this is why I built the Patreon collection called Succeed with Zero Support, because a man without support cannot waste years guessing. Inside that collection, there are more than 30 uncensored video lessons designed to give you a clear route when nobody is giving you access, introductions, protection, or approval. If you are building alone, study the collection. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Now understand the great reversal. You thought the world needed to discover you. No, you need to make yourself discoverable. You thought people needed to care. No, you need to give them a reason to care. You thought being ignored proved you were unwanted. No, it may only prove your signal is too weak. And weak signals can be strengthened. That is power. That is the path. That is the discipline of the unsupported man. He does not wait to be recognized. He builds recognition. He does not ask the market to understand him. He makes himself legible. He does not complain about being invisible. He engineers visibility. So here is your command. For the next 90 days, stop posting randomly. Stop hiding your work. Stop calling yourself underrated. Stop acting as if the world has committed a crime by not noticing what you have not clearly shown. Choose one skill. Choose one audience. Create proof. Pick one platform. Repeat until the market begins to associate your name with a result. And when silence comes, do not collapse. Silence is not a verdict. It is feedback. It tells you the signal is not strong enough yet. So sharpen it, clarify it, repeat it. Put evidence behind it. Because nobody is ignoring you because they hate you. They are ignoring you because your signal is too weak. And if your signal is weak, that is not the end. That is the work. Make your skill clear. Make your audience clear. Make your proof clear. Make your platform clear. Make your repetition relentless. Do that long enough, and invisibility begins to crack. Do it with enough precision, and the right people begin to notice. Do it with enough proof, and trust begins to form. Do it with enough consistency, and your name begins to mean something. That is when you stop being a man asking the world to see him. You become a man whose evidence stands in the open. And the market, eventually, must look.